Hello and welcome to the Series 11 panel discussion, and we're going to be talking about the final episode today, the Battle of... What was the name of the episode?
Ranskoor of Kolos.
Yeah, that's the one. Because as you can see, we're so professional here and know how to pronounce everything. So, we're going to be talking about this episode today, and how about we start with how Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor was in this episode, starting with Shay.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got an interesting perspective because I only watched the first episode and this episode, so I haven't really seen anything else. She was better in this than in the first episode, but I suppose that was just bound to happen. I don't know. I thought she was fine. There were some bits where she did that whole thing where she talks fast and she just says a bunch of stuff, and it's not very well written. But I mean, other than that,
yeah.
She was fine, you know. I believed she was the Doctor. I kind of liked the way she did it for most of it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about her. But yeah, she was good.
I agree with what you said, and I was interested to get your perspective as somebody who hasn't been going all the way through it as we have.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's a bit of a problem how she's a bit, I don't know, one note? Like, she doesn't really have much of a developed personality, I feel.
I mean... Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I didn't really get the sense of a lot of range, but also I don't think the script really allowed for much. I mean...
I don't really necessarily think it's Jodie's fault as an actress. It's just the scripts aren't really giving it.
She's clearly a very talented actress, but I just don't know if the scripts reflect her ability.
Well, they're not really playing to her strengths as an actor, particularly.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to have a go talking about this, Jacob?
Yeah, I thought it was odd that she was just like some of the hypocrisy, I guess, with the character of the Doctor. I don't know if that was this week or was last week, but it's like I never use weapons, then she has weapons, and like they lampshaded
don't
it.
shoot a spider, but let them starve to death in a small room.
The woman who never would.
Sounds like some sort of bullshit.
All episodes written by Chibnall, mind you.
Yeah. Chibnall seems to have very weird ideas about the Doctor's morals that don't really make sense.
Kind of like Peter Davison's Doctor.
Sort of, but I never felt there was a moment as glaring as that bit interacting.
Right, but I'm just saying there are inconsistencies.
This one's weird because, like, she tells Graham, don't shoot the alien who killed the woman you love. No, you should be better than that. And I'm just like, really? You're gonna be annoyed at him for that? Like,
it was actually Jodie letting him get away. You know, in the previous episode, meant that in this one, more people suffered and died as a result of him just being allowed to get away.
Yeah, and I like the resolution with Tim Shaw, but like and we obviously all saw this coming, right? Like he was going to be the villain at the end of the season, because we can't just end a season with a decent episode. No, we have to bring back a villain for some reason.
Just as an aside, what was going on in the Ghost Monument with the magic rag things? And the timeless child
of the species that the stems are destroyed.
Yeah, but it's just like when they said the timeless child and things like that, I thought that was building up to something, yet it just never materialized.
Maybe it's in the New Year's special?
Possibly.
The timeless child is the obvious Dalek.
Maybe it refers to Dalek Khan.
Alright, Brian, do you want to have a go about talking about Jodie in this episode?
My opinion on Jodie's Doctor really hasn't changed since Kerblam, other than the fact that, it's pretty solidified in my mind that she is the Doctor. Now I had that moment in It Takes You Away.
Yeah, she was very good in that, but I still just feel it's such a big problem how one note she is. She doesn't really seem a very defined Doctor.
Well, right, but I'd say that for the other Doctors we've had in the past few years, I think I'm just sort of retread it.
I haven't liked all of the Doctors we've seen, but I've always felt by the end of the series I've had a very strong sense of who they are and what differentiates them from other Doctors, whereas I haven't got that with Jodie. At least not yet.
Right. Well, Jodie is a step in the right direction. She's still got that forced Tom Baker-ish, that ishness that I hate,
Yeah.
but she's... And although her character isn't really different from any of the other Doctors yet, I do like that it is a little toned down, I guess, and it isn't completely obnoxious and, just
Yeah.
dislike.
It is less obnoxious, which is something I'm glad about, for sure.
But, yeah, other than that, my opinion really hasn't changed on her, other than the fact that she's solidified as the Doctor in my mind now.
Alright, let's move on to the companions, then. I think we should avoid Yaz bashing for this week, as I just feel that we've done that every single episode, and, yeah...
But she hasn't done anything. What is her...
I know, but I say this
the episode where
every
she made a
panel
reverse the
discussion.
polarity joke.
I mean, I've done
Also,
I
every
think-
episode
I
we do a
think
bit
it
of
would be-
Graham
I
and
think it
Ryan
would be-
bashing.
I think it would be more interesting if we came up with something positive to say about Yaz.
There isn't one. I'm sorry. I don't enjoy her character. Anyway, so do you want to start, Jacob? Just talk about companions. Obviously, main focus on Graham and Ryan's. There isn't much interesting to say about Yaz, at least in my opinion.
There's nothing
Maybe you have
to say
something
about
interesting to say,
them this week either, because Graham is all he did was shoot Tim Shaw in the foot. That was his contribution to the episode. Because here's the problem.
Yeah, but there was a character conflict. What did you think about the conflict that went on?
Let me have this rant. It takes you away. It would be such a better finale because we've already essentially finished the character arc between Graham and Ryan at the end of that episode with that amazing scene. And this episode doesn't quite ruin it. It just is like rehashing sort of the same material without trying to take the characters further. And that's my 2 cents.
Does
that make sense?
I can get you. What about you, Brian?
I actually really enjoyed Graham's inner conflict and sort of exterior conflict too, since he argues with the Doctor about it. I don't know, Bradley Walsh plays it off really well, and yeah, it doesn't really do anything to advance the character development of Ryan or Graham. I don't know. Bradley Walsh is just amazing with the material he gets, and I loved it anyway.
Am I the only one who felt that it was a bit out of character for him want to go murder Tim Shaw?
Yes.
Like Graham seems a bit chilled to me. Obviously he wouldn't be Tim Shaw's biggest fan, but he just doesn't seem like the kind of person who's like, right, revenge, bitch, and gets out his guns.
Well, I mean, after last episode, it takes you away, where he's in just sort of this emotionally distraught state. Humans aren't rational all the time. They kind of just do things on a whim, especially when they're emotionally troubled like that. So, I can see it from, the only human standpoint. And he doesn't do it in the end.
Yeah.
And,
I can get what you're saying there, yeah. I'm still not 100% convinced, but, that helps a bit. What did you think, Shay?
Much like with Jodie, I thought they were fine. I didn't really know there was a whole thing where people didn't like Yaz.
She doesn't have any character, though.
Alright. Well, I didn't really particularly notice that, 'cause she didn't really do anything.
Exactly.
So, Graham
that has been her the entire season, Shay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got this every week.
Alright. Graham and Ryan, I thought were really good. Bradley Walsh, I'm still confused as to how he's such a good actor. It doesn't make any sense. What sort of deal with the devil did he make?
Why wouldn't he be a good actor? Why does he?
Well, I don't know. He hosts a game show. That's not usually a recipe for good stuff.
Well, he's a talented man.
He truly is. Yeah, I really like him. I really like his interactions with Ryan. I haven't seen the other episodes, so I don't know what went on. I know that he did call him Granddad because they mentioned that, so that's nice. Yeah, I thought Graham wanting to kill Tim Shaw made perfect sense. If someone killed someone I loved, I'd probably want to fuck him up as well.
Yeah, but I mean,
So,
just in terms of Graham's character, though, he doesn't seem like he's not a hothead. I just don't get that from him.
yeah, but
And a lot of his character arc has been getting over the loss of his wife. Like that's,
Yeah, and that was kind of what the previous episode was about, him finally getting over it.
Well, then is it not like... Because when you say that, then I think it's interesting for like his human, like animal instincts to just overtake what he thinks is him getting over it.
Well, you also need to keep in mind that adventure it takes you away is still pretty fresh in Graham's mind.
Yeah.
So it's like coming across Tim Shaw again probably just reopened that scabbed over wound.
Yeah,
that's true.
I can kind of agree with that, although, as I said, I'm still not 100% sold. Is there anything else to say about the companions before we move on?
Well, I just want to say that also, this is... if Graham hadn't wanted to kill Tim Shaw, this would have been a very boring episode.
Yeah, that's probably why it was included.
Yeah, it's for the best.
Alright, so we'll talk about the side characters now, which includes Tim Shaw and stuff. So
why does it sound like someone is licking their microphone?
Yeah, it's coming from Jacob.
I don't even know anymore.
Jacob, what are you doing, buddy?
Alright, Brian, do you want to start on side characters?
Side characters? That one fucking fat guy and those two religious people?
And Tim Shaw.
So Mark
Tim Shaw a side character? I thought he was the villain.
Oh, well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Just characters other than the main cast is all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of liked Tim Shaw in this episode. I don't know what type of monster that makes me, but yeah, I thought he was alright. Kind of liked the callback to, older monsters that
was
can't
Tim
move.
Shaw really one worth bringing back, though? I don't really feel there was a whole lot of substance
Probably
to him.
not, but I think he was definitely better here than he was in The Woman Who Fell to Earth.
True.
Like, I actually got the sense that Tim Shaw was dangerous here.
Yeah.
In The Woman Who Fell to Earth, he was just kind of a big mockery, but this time the Doctor's reaction to him and Graham going apeshit over him still being alive made it seem like a bigger deal than it was last time. So I liked the change in how they handled him.
I mean, I've got to say that Series 11 as a whole really hasn't had any proper good villains. Because this is the closest they've got, and it still isn't that interesting, or it doesn't really stick out. Nobody's going to remember Tim Shaw that well come a few years.
People are more likely to remember the Solitract from last week. Because it's so out there and such a nice, interesting, cool idea.
Yeah, but if you've noticed, in most episodes, it's always kind of got either there's nothing evil, it's just an accident or whatever, or it's just the villain's kind of sidelined, and I feel that's been the problem for Series 11 for me.
And
they need more good villains for the next series.
As far as the other characters go, the religious people and that one fat guy who happens to be on a rescue ship or something.
Mark Daddy.
Yeah, I guess they're okay. They're really
unnotable.
do anything. Like they try to do a whole subplot with the religious people that kind of just. I mean, it's just not very.
It doesn't work
subplot without actually doing an anti-religion subplot.
You see, it didn't work because we didn't actually get to know those characters at all. So I didn't really feel anything when that happened. It was just like, all right, this is happening, I suppose.
I mean, I kind of felt bad for the one that was basically forced into it against his will by his mom or some shit, but...
I thought they were both girls.
Kids.
No, there was a guy and a girl.
What's that?
Yeah.
The dude had really long hair, though.
He
God,
did.
I'm such an
But
idiot.
any-
I genuinely. Oh god, what is going
But no,
on with me?
the dude
You were
was
probably drunk.
No, I wasn't drunk. I was just had a lot of coursework stress when I was watching it.
the dude was
I mean,
generally
that's fair.
the dude was generally nice and pretty much saw through Tim Shaw immediately. But the old woman, I guess, because old is bad, she was like,
God,
he's obviously a
You
dad.
sound like these not my doctor people now. It's old anti-old people agenda.
Single dad agenda.
Just whatever.
Well, at
I hope
least
that guy
could
sees
sort
this
of
video
tie
and
back
realizes how much of a
to
cunt he is.
Chibnall's. I don't want to call it agenda. Chibnall's thing of pushing out the old in with the new with Series 11.
I don't feel that was intended at all.
Yeah, I
And you're
think
just
you're
making
reading
it
a
up.
bit too much into it.
That's
Yeah,
a really,
just-
really silly thing to say, Brian. I'm sorry.
All right, I apologize.
Brian, are you drunk?
You don't have to apologize, Brian. I just disagree with you.
I've just had a long day and I'm tired and kind of talking at my ass right now.
Oh, don't worry,
So-
so am I.
So, someone else take over.
Well, I mean, has
Well,
anybody got
Mark
anything else
Addy
to
was-
say?
I mean,
The
they were
character
all
Mark Addy
such
played was
non-entities.
fun to watch, but he didn't do shit.
Yeah, there were non-entities. I think Shay's right there. It's just not much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we
They
just...
were just so
basically the
not,
pirate
they were
planet,
there
but
solely
shit.
for story convenience. They didn't have any
Jacob,
character
the
at all.
Pirate Planet is already shit.
Pirate Planet's great.
Pirate Planet is
Shut up.
great. You just don't appreciate the work of the genius Douglas Adams.
You think that this episode is an anti-old people agenda, Brian? Anyway, we'll move on to the plot quickly. I mean, do you want to start, Shay?
Yeah.
Anti-old people agenda. End of discussion.
alright.
I'm fucking kidding.
I mean, it was alright. I mean, sure. Yeah, it was kind of similar to the Pirate Planet. But
Well,
hey,
I mean-
if they want to do stories involving planets in boxes that are shrunk, they can knock themselves out. Because honestly, I don't really care about similarities to the Pirate Planet.
Well, the thing is, I do, is there isn't really anything original or interesting about this episode because it does the same thing as a Doctor Who plot's already done in a far more interesting and developed way. So what is there actually about this episode that's any good?
Someone watching the episode normally isn't going to have seen the Pirate Planet.
Yeah,
So really, I don't think, unless you're like a big old fan of the show, it's
So
not,
Planet
I
of the
don't think
Daleks
it's
is
really.
completely fine because it rips off the Daleks, but no one's going to have seen the Daleks in 1973.
Well, no, Planet of the Daleks isn't fine because Planet of the Daleks sucks ass. But
Planet of the Daleks
this
is great,
doesn't
but-
suck
That's
ass.
the
It's
argument
just-
you're making.
It's
Shay.
just kind of okay. Like the fact that it reuses elements from another story isn't particularly a problem to me. When
Well, I think it is a problem when there isn't really anything else to it. Like, there's no original or interesting content beyond that, and that isn't original. And it was done in a way more interesting way in the story where it first appeared in.
I mean, the idea of a race only made up of two people could be interesting.
They didn't really do much of it, though, did they?
Yeah, they do nothing with it. It's like
I didn't even pick up on that one, to be honest. I just thought they were the only two they could afford to put in makeup.
Well, I mean, that's probably true.
It's-
They just wrote...
and
I
it's
mean, I know I've had a
mentioned
problem
like
with...
once.
I know I've had a problem with finales going, like, too high scale in the past, but at the same time, having an episode just this mediocre, bland, run-of-the-mill as the last episode of a series isn't what I want either, you know?
Yeah,
Well,
I agree. I was like
it's
watching it. I'm
horseshoe
like,
theory.
this
You're going way too far in the other direction. You need to find a
doesn't
happy
really
medium.
scream
Yeah, like-
It's gotta be-
finale.
Like, classic Who finales, they often weren't, like, too much different from the average episode, but they'd often be, like, slightly bigger scale, slightly more intense, you know? Whereas
Even
this is
the
just...
Reign of
run-
Even the
Terror.
ones that aren't. Greatest show in the galaxy. It's an amazing finale. Doesn't really go that big of scale. Well, Gods of Ragnarok. But other than that, doesn't really go that big of scale.
Yeah, Inferno's a good example, where it's not necessarily that much different from the previous episode, but it is just a bit more intense, a bit darker. You kind of...
and it's
it
also
feels
just a
like-
good story. Like
Yeah.
if you switched around Inferno with like say, ambassadors or Silurians, you'd still feel a good finale.
No, but even
What's
even a bad
what's the
story.
finale of season 20 again? Oh yeah, King's Demons.
Yeah, no, but even a bad story like Time Flight, at least it's trying to do something a bit different, you know?
Are you not even going to defend King's Demons?
No, I hate the King's Demons. You know that. I said it was really terrible as a finale for the 20th anniversary season
Oh,
in my
did you?
video. On it.
King's Demons is a great story, and you're all just mindless haters with an anti-chameleon agenda, and I won't fucking stand for it, Dylan.
Chameleon is
you
coming
fucking
back
Nazi.
in Big Finish, and it's going to be great.
No, I think, you know, I can't be crazy, but I think the King's Demons had an anti-master agenda, you know?
What stories have a pro-master agenda?
Exactly, it's all a conspiracy, Shay.
Oh my god,
They're
right.
they're showing us that evil people are evil. They're brainwashing us into thinking that evil people are in fact evil, Shay.
Can I just
can't
acknowledge?
believe this.
Can I just acknowledge that you guys are completely right in that statement I said about anti-old people agenda is fucking bullshit?
Yeah, sure, Brian.
Yes.
It's almost as egregious as their anti-single dad propaganda.
Yeah, somebody said
Single
that about
dads
the previous
are very-
episode.
Single dads have a very marginalized place in society. Everyone hates them already. Why
Well, yeah,
make it
back to the plot.
Sorry, yes, of course.
Excuse me, Brian, but single dads are important.
They do have it pretty rough.
Selfish man.
Go on, Brian.
And
go
you
on.
think that might be a joke. It's not. They single dads keep it pretty rough.
Okay, anyway. So, yeah, the plot of this episode, or lack thereof. I don't know, I wouldn't say it's a complete and total ripoff of the Pirate Planet.
No,
I think
no,
it was
It's just like the only, one of the only real original elements, or one of the only possibly interesting elements, what I mean, is just nicked from somewhere else.
I didn't think it was meant to be like a rip-off or a nick-off.
I don't think he
of
did it
Pirate
intentionally.
Planet.
I don't think he did it intentionally.
I think it was more meant to be an homage to that, and
I
not.
don't see how it could be a homage, really.
If the story was good.
Yeah.
In what way does it actually reference the Pirate Planet? How is it a homage if it doesn't even reference it?
It doesn't. That's the thing.
So it's not a homage. It's just he had the same ideas they had in
Well,
the Pirate Planet.
right.
Didn't really
Are you
realise.
saying that because, the sonic screwdriver is used regularly in Doctor Who, that every story is a fucking ripoff of the first Troughton episode that used the sonic
that is
That
bullshit,
is a pretty
Brian.
shitty line of argument, buddy.
Yeah, that is
No,
a massive
Brian.
false equivalency.
No, it isn't. You're just using the same technology that some other fuckers
this is
used
a
across the
plot
galaxy.
point. This is a specific plot point from a specific past episode that's basically being reused here.
He used a piece of technology that some
Yeah,
other bastard uses, and it doesn't work.
I also don't really care that it's a rip-off of Pirate Planet, but I gotta say, man, that's a weird way to take it.
Ryan, what is your what are your arguments?
Well, look,
No, I don't even have a big problem with it. I don't even have a big problem with it myself. I just feel that it takes away because of the fact that there isn't really much else to this episode other than that. So the fact it's already been done just makes it even more run-of-the-mill and it doesn't annoy me massively or anything. I don't think, Chris Tibble, you've stolen from Gloucester. I'm not saying that at all. I don't even think he did it
and I'm
intentionally.
not saying that
That's
you
all
are
I'm saying.
that. I'm saying
I
that
think
other
I'm making
people
a fair
have seen.
assessment.
Dylan, I'm not saying that you have said that, or either of you on here have said that. I'm just saying that I've seen other people say it.
You literally said that to me, it's like you saying that the sonic screwdriver is a rip-off of Theory from the Deep or whatever.
Okay.
I don't think Brian's even seen Fury from the Deep.
Been a while, yeah.
Anyway, so is there anything else to say about the plot other than... I mean, it was surprising there was a lot of discussion about probably the most boring, average plot ever.
I really feel like there wasn't.
I feel
really
like
that
I'm
much
gonna
of a
look at
second
this
act.
discussion when it comes out and feel like such an idiot.
Right,
Yes,
let me just say this, Brian. I forgive you. We've all been there, man, when we're tired, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, I love you, BB.
No, I love you too, Brian.
But yeah, I feel like there wasn't a lot of a second act. I feel like we went first act and then third act.
That's a good point.
And
It
it
did feel
skips the middle
disjointed
bit.
that way. Yeah, no, that's completely right, Shay. That's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought of that, but that really makes sense.
The first act was like everything up until Tim Shaw, and then it was just the third act. It was like, oh, we did it. Bye, guys.
So
See, here's the thing. This episode's biggest problem is that it's probably the weakest episode of the entire season. Like,
Well, apart from Zaranga.
no, I'd say even if it's weaker than Serenga, because Serenga, you're gonna remember at least bits of it. You're gonna remember that the Pating was a thing.
Well, I'd rather
you're gonna
not
remember
remember
the
it than
pregnant
watch something that was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the Hindenburg because it was terrible, but you don't remember what happened the day after because it was probably just a standard day.
well, yeah.
But at least thousands of people didn't die, you know?
Yeah.
Season 20
I mean,
of
thousands of
Classic Who
people-
was alright, and then King's Demons was pretty
We're
shit.
back to this anti-chameleon agenda. And honestly,
Put chameleons in the cupboard.
your video's gonna get demonetized for being hate speech.
What? Unlike this episode, which is hate speech against old people. How hypocritical.
The answer is we put chameleon in a cupboard and leave him there.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was what Peter Davison did.
Now you're
exactly.
suggesting
Later.
robot apartheid. Okay.
No, just the chameleon apartheid.
All right. Well, that's okay. That's fine.
As long as you marginalise only one person, it's alright.
Yeah. That's
I'm just-
cool.
I'm just gonna look at this panel discussion and hate myself.
It's alright,
In the
Brian.
future.
It's alright, Brian. I know, I've been there. I know what you mean. And
I know it's gonna
I've-
happen.
I've explained
That's
to
the
everyone
worst
that...
part.
You,
I'm afraid.
You actually drunk,
Oh, and
Brian.
spoilers for the New Year's special. It's obviously the Daleks. It's obviously the Daleks.
I don't know, I'm not sure.
No. I think it's gonna be the Quarks.
Oh, I'd love for the Quarks to come back, as long as there's
The
Dominic.
Mavellans. The Mavellans
Oh,
are
well, I mean, they've already
finally.
had their majestic comeback.
Yeah, and it's time. That was like
Just have-
testing the waters. Everyone
just have-
loved them that time, so now they are back in full
Yeah, I
force.
mean, all those amazing lines they had in that episode. Oof.
You
Yeah,
just have
such
Jodie
as-
going.
Do you
Just
remember the scene where they played rock paper scissors with Nardo? I mean, it's like the best bit.
you just have Jodie. You just have Jodie going. It's the DNA of the most dangerous creature in the universe. And Graham goes, "Does it have a name?" You have an epic zoom in on Jodie Whittaker's face. She just goes, "Quark."
Or the creature from the pit.
Oh god, well, I mean, Tom Baker already sucked him off, so what's going to happen in this one?
or even worse, she says, "Absorb a laugh."
slow zoom on the
Tastes
doctor's
like
face, and she's
chicken.
like, "It's the scribble monster. The Olympics are in danger."
Oh no. Alright, so should we start giving our final thoughts on this episode then? Starting with Ryan.
Oh shit. Okay, I thought it was all right. You know, definitely not my favorite of the season. Probably like a 7, maybe on par with the Ghost Monument, or it's like a 6 point.
You're giving it a 7?
I'm gonna give it a 6 or a 6.5.
That's a bit high.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, you'd take a point off for the anti-old people agenda.
Oh, or
I hate
2.
myself already.
I love you, Brian. Anyway, go on, Jake.
Again, this is probably I have nothing to say. It's like a 4. I couldn't even call it average.
Alright, go on then, Shay.
Well, this is one of the most thoroughly fine things I've seen in a while. I don't have any major complaints, and I don't have any major praises. I don't know. I'll probably forget it in a week. I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, it was probably one of the most painfully average things I've ever watched. There wasn't really much of anything in it. The only thing of note was kind of Graham's character bit. Other than that, nothing happened and nothing was interesting, so 5.
Also, can we
it
address
wasn't
the fact-
bad. It wasn't bad in any way, but there just was so little to it. It's slap bang, painfully mediocre. I will never rewatch it again, probably.
We forgot to address one thing.
Oh, what?
Tim Shaw isn't dead. He's still fucking alive, so there's the possibility. And let me tell you, it's just a pretty fucking huge possibility that he's gonna be back next season too.
God, no, please. This was not an interesting character
He's the villain
at
in
all.
the New Year special.
The most evil creature in the universe, Tim Shaw.
Stentor.
Also, I'd like to say, this episode, because I haven't seen any other episode, nor have I seen any photos of it. This is the first time I've seen the TARDIS, and what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's really
What the fuck
shit.
is going on in there?
Does it
It's
have a
basically
name?
crystals.
Toothy
Fucking
Coochie.
horrendous.
Yeah, alright, so, thanks for coming on, guys. It's been a good panel
Does it
discussion.
have a name? Toothy Coochie.
And I'll see you back for a different kind of video, because we're out of Series 11 panel discussions. Well, of course, there will be the New Year special panel discussion, but that's not for a while. So
I
thanks
better
for
be on
watching.
there.
See you
I
back
swear
next
to
time.
God.
Oh, you will be.